Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about the music of the Bauls. The Bauls are wandering singers in Bangladesh and on the Indian side of the international borderline in the state of West Bengal. They occupy certain liminal or hybrid positionalities across the worldviews of Hinduism and Islam. They cannot be readily categorized as either Hindu or Muslim. In their spiritual practices, conceptual idioms, and ritual imaginations, they are both Hindu and Muslim, and some of them may even claim to be beyond Hindu and Muslim. Bauls often use the one-stringed ektara or the two-stringed dotara. Here is one way to understand their music. It is an Indo-Islamic point of intersection between two styles of spirituality. The first is based on the Vedic Hindu idea that the structures of the cosmos are rooted in a primordial sound, shabda, that is not directly audible to the physical ear, and this sound lies hidden in the innermost heart of the human person. We have here a sonic theology, according to which by hearing and inhabiting the cosmic sound, we become properly rooted in reality. The second is based on the central claim in Sufism, tasawwuf, that through the cultivation of meditative awareness of God, zikr, possibly through devotional music in ritual settings, one attains spiritual proximity to God. A motive central to the Vedas, roughly 1500 BCE, is that the universe is produced through a primordial sacrifice, and all the forms of order, structure, and harmony that we perceive in the world are ongoing expressions of that cosmic event. The Sanskrit word for this order is dharma, which is somewhat analogous to the Greek word logos and the Arabic word din. Crucially, we and dharma are not two neatly separable entities. Just as dharma animates us, we have to maintain that very dharma. If you were asked, how is it possible that the sun rose this morning even when you were sleeping soundly and you had not performed any sacrificial ritual to the dawn, you would probably reply in a rhetorical way, have you not heard of Newtonian mechanics? That is, the rising and the setting of the sun have nothing to do with your conscious intentions or agential powers. However, this is not quite how things stand in the Vedic ritual imagination, because the regular motions of the celestial bodies are part of the dharma generated by the cosmic sacrifice. If the sacrifice is not regularly repeated by human priests here on earth, the solar system would gradually run down. This organic intertwining between the human realm and the cosmic realm is elaborated in subsequent texts called the Upanishads, roughly 800 BCE. One distinctive characteristic of some of the Upanishads is that they allegorize the external Vedic sacrificial ritual by offering internal or symbolic meanings. Instead of saying that I need to offer milk and butter into a physical fire, I would say that I'm surrendering my worldly thoughts, ideas, and emotions into the fire of self-inquiry. So the repeated exhortation of the Upanishads is, know thy own true self, Atman. This Atman is not quite the bounded I who is speaking to you right now. The Atman is the imperceptible spiritual self which energizes the I as it speaks. Just as I do not generally see my spectacles, but I see through my spectacles, I do not know my Atman, even though the Atman is the basis of all my everyday knowing. And this is where we encounter one crucial theme for Bauls spirituality. The fine-grained structures of dharma are rooted in the cosmos-generating and cosmos-sustaining primordial sound, and the subtle sound lies hidden in the innermost recesses of the Atman. The spiritual life is the process of cultivating an unwavering attunement to this mysterious sound that is the basis of everything, the physical space of the solar system as much as the spiritual space of the embodied Atman. Does this mysterious sound have a physical expression? A text called the Bhagavata Purana, roughly 900 CE, presents a famous narrative of the god Krishna and the cowherd woman Gopi. One evening in autumn, when the charming full moon has risen in the sky, Krishna begins to play on his flute. So enthralling are the notes of the flute that the cowherd women are entranced. They leave behind their domestic chores and run to the forest to dance with him. Some of them become filled with pride in thinking that they possess Krishna, and suddenly Krishna disappears, plunging them into grief. Racked with the pain of separation, they begin to look for Krishna everywhere. This agonized quest, during which they discern vivid signs of Krishna's absence everywhere, is followed by their reunion with Krishna when Krishna joins them in a circle dance. These gopis are regarded as the exemplary practitioners of the pathway of love, bhakti. They are the archetypal lovers whose worldly travails are an allegory of the mutual dance of devotee and deity. So we have two themes which are ready for Sufi hermeneutic recalibration. First, the emphasis on self-understanding and devotional love on the purgative pathway to God, and second, the cultivation of an intensely focused sense of the presence of God. The Hindu narrative of Krishna and the gopis becomes an osmotic site of transfer with Sufi motives of the painful surgery, fana, of the world immersed self, the symbolic exile, hijrat from God, who is our true home, and the practice of recalling the names of God. Baul music draws on all these cosmological archetypes, Vedic, Hindu, and Sufi. Their characteristic idiom is the person of the heart, Moner Manush. Their songs embody the paradox that this Manush is immediately accessible and yet it has somehow become lost to us. Like the Atman, which is always at hand and yet can never be domesticated, the Manush is always with us, and yet in our self-forgetfulness we remain blind to its constant presence. Thus, in bewilderment, the Baul singer wanders hither and thither across the world, questing for the inner jewel. The Bengali word Baul is sometimes taken to mean madman. From the perspective of the Bauls, of course, it is the world that is mad in trying to place the Moner Manush under conceptual categories. This Moner Manush is the eternal beloved who can be apprehended through music, but the more we approach this beloved, the more we become painfully aware of its absence, even in its presence.